the sole that isolates the beautiful Isle of Wight from the south coast major cities of Portsmouth and Southampton. The way of life is so relaxed, full of old English traditions. This community spirit has unearthed so many unique characters. Several have become my friends and priceless island gems.
Hello, John. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, dear.
Lovely, lovely.
Did you always think there were dinosaurs here or not?
Dad always said there were some here. And in them days, you'd go down on the beach, find a dinosaur bone, pick it up, bring it back, and you use it as a door stopper. Nobody was interested.
Are you fascinated when thousands of people come here to look at dinosaurs?
Well, we met ever so nice people. Yes, we have. I'm no good. I do some, well, not running the bait job. I can't run now, but sort of walk the bait jobs I do. I got to stand there like a great fat toad and see the kids don't take anything or break anything. Oh, here's my daughter. I'll let you speak to her. She understands more about this than I do.
Hello, Barbara. You know a lot about dinosaurs, do you?
I've had to learn a lot.
Terrific. Tell me about that one.
This is a vertebrae from an iguanodon. This is the rock that surrounds it, and that's the centre section of the bone that's been cut and polished. It's beautiful, isn't it? Then this piece, this is again part of a vertebrae from a brachiosaurus. But I'm told that in life this would have been air chambers, and it's the black pieces that would have been the bone.
I think we used to go down there and pick up a piece years ago and put it against the door for a door stopper. Nobody was interested then. How things have changed.
Wonderful.
Now this was the old farmhouse. You used to go from there right down to there. It was a thatched place.
What, your farmhouse, was it?
Yes, it used to have a great oak carved fireplace and flagstones inside on the kitchen floor. We should never have pulled it down. My husband and I, well, we were always brought up, don't have anything unless you can afford it. And we wanted to put up some more buildings here. And the house was bad and wanted a lot of money spent on it, because in those days you could buy a good house for £300 or £400. And Mike said, well, we just as well pull it down and have the stones for rubble under the builds or under the concrete. And that's what we done. But we never ought to have done it. I do regret it. I went to look at an old house, well, some while ago now. They'd have made a hole in the wall, and they were talking about it, and it had like what we call wattle, like spires across. And that's how this house was. Should never have done it. I do regret that.
Older than you, is it?
Well, nearly, yeah. We're getting on as old as me, yeah. You see, they were low doorways in them days. I don't know why. Just round the corner of the other doorway. Just the same, very low doorways.
They had all short people in those days.
Well,
then.
perhaps they had it for warmth. I don't know why it was. But that's exactly how it was. You see, that's all carved in round like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Of course, they could tell some tales, couldn't they? Sorrow and all that.
Sylvia, what was it like in the old days?
It was quiet here. If you saw one or two people walking about, well, you couldn't believe it, you know. And then that military road was so narrow, you had to go along, and then every now and then there was gates you had to open. Why they had gates, I don't know. But I can remember Dad going along, and Dad used to have a little car with a little dicky seat at the back, as we used to call it. And my sister and I used to be sit up in the back, and Dad used to have to keep getting out and opening these gates.
You've loved animals over the years.
Oh, I've
Could
loved
you
them all
get really
me, no.
attached to an animal?
Oh, yes, you do. You treat them all the same, but it's like human beings. One sort of appeals to you more. I used to have one old cow, Joy. I did love that old cow. In them days, once a year, one day, you know, you'd go on the farmer's outing, you see. And I know one day I went on this outing and Mike come back and he said to me, for God's sake, go out there and talk to that old cow. He said she stood up against that gate and she blared all day. I went out there and patted her down and talked to her, and she went off out in the field again, no trouble at all. And then as time went on, in them days they had horns, you see. And we used to have Ayrshires, and they were spiteful. They was hardy cows, but they were spiteful, some of them. We used to have one down the end of the stable there, and poor old Dad, when he used to come in, if you didn't watch out, she'd lash out now, you know, just, well, real nasty. Well, one day we was having tea, And I said in my heart, there's trouble, because cows and pigs, and fowls, they make a different noise for blood or danger, you know. And we went in an enclave and there's my old pet cow dead. Oh, when I upset about it, I'd cry and I'd cry. This one with the spiteful with her horns had stabbed her, and where it started to where she went, it was just like they went along with a trail with a bucket of blood. She knew she'd have done wrong. I could have give her a jolly good line. Well, when she come in the stable next morning, she knew she'd have done wrong. There was all the blood all down her face, you know, but it was no good hollering at her then because it was too long afterwards. But, oh, yeah. So Mike said, right, that was when they were first starting to have their horns off. Ring up the vet, come out next morning, take their horns off. Well, of course, they didn't do things then like they do now. It was like a great pair of bolt cutters. You kept chopping them off, you know. There was blood everywhere. It was just like a battlefield. But that stopped them. Now, of course, you dehorns them when they're born.
You have slept in with the cows, haven't you?
Yes, I had another old pet one. She had a bad time calving, and she hurt her back. Well, it was like women too, and used to come down and look at the cows in the night when they're going to calve. Because I said you used to come down here before you went to bed at night time, about 10 o'clock, get them up, walk them round, have a look at them, you know. You used to have a, excuse me, I expect she had calved at night. Or, no, she wasn't calved at night. Well, this poor old thing had a bad time calving, and she was down after she calved. She couldn't get up. So for 10 nights, I slept in the loose box with her, because I had to keep pulling her legs, because if you don't do that, they straddles herself, like that, see? And the vet used to come and used to say, well, I'm just going out in the bedroom again now. He used to say, there's me out there with a cow, you know, for night time. But we did save her.
What was the sort of age when you started to milk a cow? What sort
only
of age?
Small I was.
Were you?
Yeah, only very small. Yeah. Used to anybody coming on, you get order tets, squirt a lot of milk on them. You know, you used to them. Not fussy like it was today. Kids would come along, get their jug, you squirt it in there, they drink it. Nothing at all wrong with it.
Hard life on a farm, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I loved it.
What about school days?
I didn't like school very much. I used to have to walk 3 miles to school and 3 miles back. That's 6 miles a day. That's a long ways for a little tiny kid, at 5 years old. But then everybody had to do it. It wasn't only me. Everybody did it. Then as you got bigger, you had a bike.
Then you left school to work on the farm.
I did. In them days, we used to have to turn the hay with a prong, cart it with a horse and wagon, put the hay up in pooks, stand the corn up in stokes, and then wintertime we used to have to thresh it.
Electric light?
No, we didn't have electric light.
Did you?
No, not for a long time we didn't know.
What did you have? Just
hurricane lanterns. I went somewhere the other day and the chap had a tilly lamp. He was telling people how old it was. So I said to him, here, I can remember when I used to milk the cows at the beginning of the war with a hurricane lamp, not a tilly lamp. Yeah.
Did you get paid?
5 shillings a week I used to get.
Did you?
And on that 5 bob, mind you, your parents all the farmers' sons and daughters worked home in them days, and they all paid them about the same. They used to keep you and give you this 5 bob a week. Well, on that 5 bob, I used to ride my bike to Shorewall, but catch a bus to Newport and back, have the best seat in the pictures, quarter of sweets, ice cream, 2 penny of the chips, and a penny or two over to buy your clothes. My first coat I bought, I gave £1 for it.
Did you?
That was a new one. And my bike, my first bike, I still got an old bike now. £3 all but a penny.
I think someone bought a lorry once for £75.
Yes, poor old Mike and I, that's my husband. For 2 years we used to carry the milk from down here up to the military road with churns. About 40 gallons of milk. In them days, that was a lot of milk because the dairies were smaller, you know. We used to carry it up there, well, no road like there is now. In the winter, mud and water up to here, you know. Put 10 gallon churn, 4 times you had to go. Pull the churn away from you so it didn't hit your ankle. And then Mike bought this lorry. It had no windscreen, no sides, it had a body and an engine. Just to take that milk up the road. £75, yeah. God. We thought we was in heaven.
Always an open house with you,
Oh,
wasn't it?
Mum and Dad was always once for plenty of grub. Heat right up round. I say very often now on, you see on television about these little dinners they cook, you know. Well, it's only like 1 spoonful. We like it right up round like that. With a bit of fat on it going on down your mouth, you know. It's proper good, that is, yeah.
But now there's special milk, special butter.
Yeah.
Don't eat this, don't eat
When
that.
I goes in, I say, I don't want that warm milk. Wants a proper milk, I calls it, because I said that other stuff what they drinks was like separating milk. We only used to give to the pigs. We wouldn't dream of drinking that. Now they want all that, don't they? I says, God help England, if we ever have another war, a lot of the blokes ain't got no guts in them today, no grub in them, no guts in them, and no discipline. No, it's all different than that.
Wartime was a bit special on this sort of road, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, it was very busy here. We had thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers here because they thought we were going to be invaded. They were in every building, every house. There was tents in the field, in huts.
Did you trade with them?
Of course thing we did. The batman used to say to us, you see our officers are all right for grub, we'll see you're all right too. We used to get sides of bacon, 7 pound tins of marmalade, butter, 7 pound tins of butter, and then we used to let them have milk, butter and eggs. We weren't supposed to. And then I used to take some milk over to the naffy, and again, they used to say to us about, let us have things, they let us have things. The soldiers on guard on the gate used to say to me, Sylv, get me a packet of fags. I used to get the cigarettes from them from the naffy, and then come outside and give the cigarettes to the soldiers, and the poor soldiers' wives used to send their sweet ration because it was ration in that time. I used to have the sweet ration, and they had the fags, so that we was all right, yeah.
Big searchlight too, Sylvia.
Yeah, we had that big searchlight there, and the chaps used to say, when we were milking like winter time and tea time, they used to put the searchlight beam on first to show us, you see. Yeah, they were lovely days. War's a terrible thing, but everybody was friendly and helped one another in them days.
What were the Americans like?
Oh, we had some Yanks here. Talk about grub. Well, we used to have the swill, and it nearly killed the pigs and the fowls. It was too rich. But they were all dressed up like officers, collar and tie job. There's our poor blokes in this itchy battle dress, But no, nothing comes out the British Army. I suppose I never ought to say it, but...
The old German planes came in low, didn't they?
Yeah, the old Germans used to come in about 4 o'clock afternoons. We used to be hand milking. You could hear them coming. They'd come in just above the cliff top, just above the hedge, go back to Portsmouth, or go to Portsmouth and Southampton. Poor Dad used to say, where's our Air Force? Why don't we stop them? Well, we didn't realise we never had anything. And then when we did start getting the stuff, we used to have these battles over here, you see. And I know one time I saw these Germans coming underneath the electric light wires. That's down the holiday camp, because they had electric light. We didn't. We thought they were going to land on that tennis court, but they didn't. Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden you got some German prisoner of war
yeah.
on the farm, and you've never seen foreigners, had you?
Never seen a foreigner.
What did you expect?
Well, it got like that. All the men was called up. You see, and other different farmers used to have prisoners of war. There was some... You could have Italians, won't that be there, John? and then Dad said no, he didn't think he would. And then it came that you had German prisoners. So Dad said, well, I'll have them for a couple of days. Well, they came as we thought, for a couple of days. They used to stay in a hostel at Whitwell. And Mum and Dad was always wanting to give everybody food. So we always gave them something to eat and drink. But the first time when they got out of the lorry, we looked at them, we thought, well, they looks like us and they eats like us. Well, of course they do. But we'd have never seen a foreigner before.
What did you expect?
Now, see, little kids that size goes abroad, don't they?
So were the buses in the wartime?
Only at Shorewall, we used to catch the bus. It was a charter's bus in them days. It used to be 7 to go in and 7 to come back. Never had prices gone up in them days. And the last bus back, of course, all the soldiers used to go in, you see. Sometimes when we've been in that bus and you'll get 2 or 3 sit on your lap and you'll get some of them had to hang their heads out the window to make room for others in. They was all stood up in the passageway. Well, you wouldn't be able to do that now.
Great fan of Churchill, weren't you?
Oh, and I always said he saved the world. And when he died, I said, I'm going up there and stand over his grave and say thank you. In the war, we used to keep losing this, losing that, ships and that keep going, countries giving in. Then they used to say, Churchill speaking tonight. We used to go in, because it was wireless in them days. He used to say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Out we used to come, we used to say, we should be all right. Oh, yeah, we didn't realise how low we were, though. It took me 25 years, but one day we went on a day coach trip. We were close to where he's buried. Now, I said to the driver, would he take us round there where he was buried? So he did, and we went there. And as I said, I stood over his grave and I said, thank you, you saved the world.
So what about the weather over the years? 1962, there was a terrible snowstorm,
That
wasn't
was a
it?
terrible time, terrible time. Poor Mum died. She was buried on the Saturday, as that snow come on that evening. If poor Mum and that funeral, the day she did, she'd have been here for weeks. It was about 3 weeks we couldn't get out. Of course, nowadays, council got diggers, we got a digger. Things would be different, you know. And we had all them pigs, we had all them cows, everything was froze up, but we had the cows in the stable in them days with a chain round their neck. We used to have one tap in there, and we left him so he kept dripping, you know, so that he wouldn't, because everything was froze up. And we had to have water for 5 weeks in a day. We was without water at that bungalow. I remember looking at the bungalow window one day, and I said, Mike, we want some more water, you know, because you do use a lot of water in the house, don't you? And Mike said, be you and your water, I got enough to do all this. Although I was helping as well, you know, but God, that was terrible.
How deep was the snow?
As I said, for about 3 weeks, nobody could get along here. And they used to go along with these sticks when it did get better to find the car. The cars was all buried, you see. And when they did start clearing it, we used to go up Chine Lane, that lane by the holiday centre. There was like two high walls, one each side of it. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Farmers usually knows a bit about the weather, but nobody thought it was going to be like that.
What about the hurricane?
There's another tornado too. I said, lots of times, normal times, you look at the weather and now when you get it all feathery up in the sky, you say, there's wind coming, you know.